Let's see, today is October 19th. This is the Parks meeting. We are opening the meeting at 8:05. And pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL 330A 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Hubbardston Parks Commission will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via Zoom. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the town's website a comprehensive recording of the proceedings as soon as possible after this meeting. Okay, so we'll have everyone give their name as being in attendance. Sandaberry, Chair.
Brian Matheson.
Dave Sacramone.
Jason Curtin.
And missing from the meeting is Eric Gremroy. Is that how you pronounce it? Oh, Gemroy, yes. All right, so if we can review the minutes from last meeting, which was on October 1st, and we can vote on them. They all
Motion to approve.
okay. All in favor, or who seconds?
I'll second it.
No, either one,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So did anyone or everyone print out the agenda? If not, I have it right here. So the next,
I didn't.
so the next thing on the agenda is the budget. So I did go over and print out all the information from the end of September for our current budget. And so far, honestly, because of COVID, we haven't had a lot of expenses. So they did reduce our budget to $2,500 for this fiscal year 2021. We have spent $615 out of that. So we still have a budget of $1,885. I do have a bill. I haven't received the bill yet, but I will be getting a bill from White Turf for shutting down the sprinkler system, blowing out the irrigation system. I haven't gotten that bill yet, but it's usually a couple $100. And that will come out of this, the recreational budget. And as soon as I get a bill, I'll put in to have it paid. So that won't be a problem. The other budgets that we oversee is the information center, which is down by the library. I'm sorry, down by the fire department, the, Charlie Clark Corner, Millennial Park, whatever you want to call it. But we do have a budget of $725 still in that account for any repairs or anything that we need down there. I bought new decorations for that. I want to say last year or the year before, so they're still in pretty good shape. I can't think of anything that we would need down there. But that's what the budget for that account is still right now at $725. Our Park and Rec revolving account, this is like our donation account, or when we get money from the townwide yard sale, things like that. That has a budget of $143 still in it. The Hubbardston Community Park Fund, that's the trust fund that we oversee, that we use for major repairs and things like that down at the rec field. That has a balance of $9,205 in it. And the Hubbardston Preservation Trust, and that's money that goes into a different trust fund from the haying fields up at Mount Jeff. And like, if you recall, different organizations can use it. Open Space tends to use it. It can be used for recreational purposes as well. That has a budget right now of $11,986 in it. So those are the budgets that we oversee. So we're in pretty good shape for all of that. Any questions on the budget?
Sandra, if you want to email me the list, I'll add those to the meeting minutes. I couldn't keep up.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can send that to you. Yep, not a problem. So the fourth thing on our agenda is closing of the parks. And really, we've already closed the parks for the most part. In regards to services, usually we're pulling porta potties, we're blowing out the irrigation system, whatever needs to be done at the very beginning of November, usually November 1st with soccer wrapping up. But we did have an issue. I'm going to put 4 and 5 together because we did have an issue with the irrigation system. After field day, we were notified that there was a wet spot down there. So I did go down there and check it out. And I kind of made the decision that it did not seem to be a cracked pipe under the ground. But I can't be positive of that because it wasn't saturated. I mean, to me, it looked like it might have been a sprinkler head that was broken because it was just like a little area in a round spot, maybe 18 inches in diameter, and it was just a little wet. I mean, I had a hard time actually finding it. So I went down and checked it out twice. The second time I actually met White Turf down there. I met Mark down there and we went and looked at it because I did contact him about it. Having him shut down the irrigation system and looking at it. The thing we kind of ran into was he said, well, I'll just shut the system down when I'm down there. So we said, okay. So we went, we checked out that area and he was like, yeah, it doesn't look like it'd be a broken pipe, but I had gotten a phone call. So I got a phone call from Chris Prego on a Sunday that said he had gone and cleaned down the sprinkler, not the sprinklers, the filters down at the well. He had gone and cleaned them out and he says, it looks like the well's been tripped and it's not running. So I told him that we would go look at it and I would have Mark look at it. So from White Turf. And so Mark went down, he kind of looked at it and he goes, yeah, he goes, but it will have like an automatic shut off if the water gets too low or anything like that. Yeah. But he didn't want to start the well up because he was blowing it out. So he's like, I don't want to do this now because I'm blowing out the water out of the lines and you would have to call a pump company to come anyways to check out the wells. So he suggested that we look at it in the spring. So unless someone disagrees with that, I was just like, okay, because he was there to shut off the system anyways. So I guess we're just going to have to remember that in the spring to have the well checked out, or he might be able to check it out he said he'll know in the spring when he starts it back up. He says whether the pump's working, the well pump is working or not working. But he said it can just trip itself and turn itself off if he said if the water level gets too low, somehow it detects it so it doesn't burn out the motor.
That well pump's relatively new. I feel like, didn't we just replace that a few years ago?
Yeah, I think we replaced it about 5 years ago. But they did put like this automatic shut off involved in it. So, so I think, because he wasn't going to be able to repair the well anyways, he just said we should really look at it when he starts it up in the spring, because as of that day, he didn't want to put any more water in the pipes because he was blowing out the pipes anyways. So does anyone have a problem with that? Do they think we should have someone look at it now?
That makes total sense. There'll be no water running out of it now for the next few months anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree, but I guess my question is, do we think that, just trying to put it all together, do we think there's a pipe cracked and the well just kept running dry and that's why it tripped, or is it?
Well,
don't know.
That's what we don't know.
That's what we'll find out in the spring when
It's
we.
not
He wasn't
supposed-
willing to look at it now. He wasn't willing to look at the pipe now to see if it was broken before he shut it down.
Well, he didn't. So, because when we went down there, I don't think he saw it, but he didn't think he didn't think it was piped. It wasn't like a saturated area. And there's no way for him to really know unless he starts digging it up. So he suggested, because he was there to
Yeah.
shut down the well anyways, to just investigate it in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, the well's not supposed to continue running. If it, I forget if it's a certain amount of time or something. There is an automatic shut off for it. I
Oh,
remember
okay.
that from the last time when we
Alright.
replaced the pump the last time. And I think you're right, Sand. I think if the pump had run dry because of a broken head, that would have been a mess over by that broken head.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, like I said, I had to look and look and look to find it. And I had talked to Jesse Turok too, like, have you noticed like the fielding went, and she said, no. And then she thought about it, she goes, oh, well, there's this small little area, but so I don't know. I mean, I know the person who notified us of it, the system for field day, the system had run that morning. And I actually had gone out like 3 days later, but of course it was a pretty dry time of year and it was pretty dry. So then I went out like a week after that and checked it out again. And again, I did not find it to be saturated, as if something was leaking. But again, like Dave says, there's also an automatic shut off for the pump. So, so if everyone's in agreement, we'll just, because we're going to get the bill because he did shut it down. So we'll just have to remember to look into it in the spring.
Yeah, I wonder if we can just tell him now that we want that checked out when he opens it up in the spring.
Well, he does know that, but if you've ever worked with Mark, you got to remind him. He's a nice guy, but he's got to be in his 70s, So, so we all got to put it on our calendar for March and have him go look at it. And we might want to
Hey,
open up
Siri.
the system a little earlier. Huh? Yeah. So, so we'll just look at that in the spring, but I wanted to let everyone know about it. Let's see, skipping forward to the capital plan. So we have to submit our 1-year addition for the capital plan. So every year you put out a 5-year plan, and then so the next year you get to add 1 more year because the year goes by. And in the notes that we had talked about, we were very fortunate because 2 of our items, or actually the first 3 of our 5-year plan for the capital plan we discussed last week, have kind of already been resolved, because the number 1 plan was the bandstand roof. And that already got voted on at the special town meeting on September 24th. So there's fundings for that roof. I do know I have been in a 3-way conversation with Ryan and Joyce Green from the Lions Club in regards to some bids he's put out, or actually not bids, but he's reached out for some estimates. And I think he's gotten 1 estimate back on having the work done. And I think he has to get 3 estimates, and then he'll let the Lions Club just make a decision as to who they want to go with. I haven't heard from him if he's gotten any more, but he did send that out last week, at least 1 of the estimates. So that's a capital plan that's been taken care of. The second one on the second year of our plan was replacing playground equipment if we had not had the CPA go through, but the CPA went through. So we already kind of winning, I shouldn't say winning, but so we're already got funding for number 2 and number 3 on our 3-year capital plan. So we're kind of at year 4 of our capital plan, which was to repair or replace the walking path. And number 5 is to seal coat and reline the basketball court.
Yep.
So a couple questions I wanted to ask is, do you think we should flip these and maybe do the seal coat first, because it won't be as expensive, I'm assuming? I know it wasn't. I think we had down an estimate of like $8,000, where replacing or repairing the walking path is going to be pretty hefty. It's probably going to be like at least $50,000. So I don't know. I just didn't know if anyone thought there was.
How much
What?
for the walking path?
Well, we had a conservative estimate of like $50,000.
Oh, 50.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if I heard 50 or 15. So I just
Uh-huh.
wanted to be clear. 50, yeah, that's a lot. 15's a lot too, but
Well, and I think we're coming up. We're due to get the court done. I think the time is kind of right where that's going to have to be done sooner rather than later
Mhm.
to even have any value. So we might want to do it just because it's. I think it's time. And I think we said after it was complete, we would only wait a year or two before we sealed it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So do we want to make a vote to put our next year's capital plan to be seal coat the basketball court?
Yes,
Yes.
I would motion to do that.
And then put behind that would be repair, replace the walking path?
yep.
Can anyone think of any other improvements that need to be done sooner rather than later? I mean, we don't have to have any. I mean, then of course we can address it again next year and if something comes up, but
Are they doing anything with the people that the baseball group fixing the field? Are they also fixing any of the dugouts or anything like that? Or are they just doing the field with that money?
I think it did have, I'm trying to remember. I think they had like there's a dugout that needed to be repaired or replaced or something like that. So I do think in their plan, they had some small other improvements with that.
Okay.
But as of right now, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they have the money, they got CPA funds, they have another year to get the project done, but I haven't heard a word from them. And they were gonna get,
I was just asking because the dugouts definitely look like they could use, some fixing up.
Mhm.
So I didn't know if that's part of their plan, then we don't need to necessarily put that on our plan yet until we see what they do. But if that's not part of their plan, it might be something down the road we want to look at. I haven't looked at them really a lot, but just like going by them, it just looks like they're run down. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, all right, well, let's, and like I said, they were going to, last I had heard, now I had a meeting with them in June. And then last I knew they were gonna start this project in the fall and I haven't heard from a single person. So I don't know if they've decided not to do it. I don't even think they ended up using the fields this year, even though they said they were going to, but I don't think they ever did. So.
A lot of kids played in Westminster, so.
What?
I saw a lot of kids played in Westminster.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I guess we should reach out to them. I think maybe I'll send them an email that just says, it's pretty late in the season. Are you thinking of doing this in the spring? If so, please keep us in, the loop and what have you.
Well, they're going to have to, right? They're going to have to do it in the spring or they're going to lose the money, right?
Well, yeah, although they can always request an extension.
Oh, okay.
And because of COVID, they have a legitimate reason to be
Sure.
like, we couldn't do anything last year. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So, and they do know that. They do know they can ask for an extension. So other than that, so we'll put these two forward and
To put something, sorry, to put on the capital plan, do you have to have a dollar value to go with it, or are you just trying to put something that we're looking out into the future on?
They like to have estimates if we have them, because you have to give a narrative as to what needs to be done. And then you have to fill out like these sheets. I don't know if anyone can see them, but you have to do a sheet for each year and, and what the priority of the 5-year plan is. And what were you thinking could be done?
I was just thinking about the skate park. I know it's pretty old, and when you go up there, all the equipment's sinking into the ground, the ramps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it sinking into the so maybe kind of either a revamping, or a renovation of the skate park. But it gets so much use,
True.
I don't think it would be a bad investment. Kids are still going to go up there and use it. So
no, maybe we can get a local vendor so that if there are problems going forward, we can actually get them resolved by somebody that'll respond rather than what the
Right.
company is in California or something, right?
Yeah, or Missouri or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder, well, well, maybe what we can do is look at that in the spring to see what like would need to be done to improve that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you wanted to put it on the plan this year just to kind of get it on the radar, but I wouldn't know what a dollar value to put on there. You know,
I
what
would have
that
no
cost to
idea.
put in, that must have been.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that skate park, I think I was told, of course, it was put in 20 years ago, that it was like $25,000.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so I wonder, and I know that I have, this year I didn't do it, but in the past I have had Roy Handy, is that his name? Come and look and check out the equipment to make sure it's still safe and secure. And he's a welder and has a welding business in town. And
Yeah.
he said everything, he checked everything out and he said it's all still in good shape. It depends on how we want to clean it up, whether we want to replace anything or what have you. I don't really know, but
Yeah, no, I know it's been a while since the last time I was in there. You could see all the ramps were kind of sinking into the pavement a little bit.
mhm.
You know, the metal gets hot in the sun, and it's just in the hot pavement. It just kind of does that over years. It's going to do that, but
But
you
what
know,
do you,
I know the ramps aren't in bad shape, aren't in terrible shape, but it's 20
Mhm.
years old, right? Some of them have been painted
Right.
and whatnot. You just did that a few years ago, but you know, I think in my if I reach back to my teenage years, I'd love to see what they just did in Gardner with that big concrete thing happening, but that would be that must have been expensive. Have you seen that over by
no,
you know where that Cube Smart is? Way over, what is that? I guess Chestnut Street and you know, kind of.
I can't hear you.
Hear you
Oh,
either.
did you lose me? Oh, really?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Oh, that's strange. You know where the library is in Gardner?
Yeah, I know what the Cube Smart is now that you mention it. Yeah.
Jackson Park, I think it's called, is right next to the Cube Smart, and they up on the hill behind there, they dug in and did this whole concrete. You know, it's all in the ground and it's all ramps and everything.
Cool.
It's probably way more than we could do, but you know, I think that would last a long time. Those things, I'm sure that will last a very long time, but it took a long time to put in too. It's a big deal, but
But Jay, I think to your point though, this is something we really haven't tackled. I mean, maybe we do put it on the list just so that it stays on everyone's radar, that the one piece of Parks and Rec that we haven't touched is really, except for the addition of Jacob's Rail or Nick's Rail.
Right.
You know, we really haven't done anything with the park. I mean, I think maybe we put it on the list just so that it stays kind of front and center, that we look at doing something to it.
Yeah.
I think it gets a lot of use, like you were saying, and I wonder if we were to do something, if we could get buy-in from the kids that are up there, if maybe people would take care of trash and stuff a little bit better, and kind of think about what they're doing, because
Right.
that's definitely an eyesore in the summer when it gets trashed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and again, like I said, we normally have a senior write-off person who does the trash, but this year because of COVID, we couldn't get any seniors to volunteer at all, and
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Yep.
Maybe next summer will be, people will be a little more comfortable. But do you think we should put the skate park up as number one, or you think we need to do the seal coat first? Or
No, I think we need to do the seal coat, because I think, not that there was a time limit on it, but we were supposed to do it a couple years after it was installed. So I think it just works out that the calendars or the clock is probably ticking on that one. We should probably get that done sooner
Okay.
rather than later. And I was just thinking, I think it's a good idea to take a look at the skate park, maybe put that as number 3 on the list, just so that it's on the list and we can continue to evaluate as time goes on.
I wonder, so when we're talking about the skate park, of course, we don't know a lot about it. Are we talking about maybe just doing something to move the equipment so they're not sinking into the ground anymore, or doing something just to the base so that it's not sinking in the ground? Or do you think you're talking about replacing all the equipment?
I think probably a little of both. I think the stuff, the ramps need to be moved and maybe assess what's happening, either repaved or whatever, something with the base, and then maybe I don't know, say freshen it up, give it a different look, or give it some more options or something. But
Mhm.
I have no idea when they put it in, if they thought about it as a skate park, what they put it on, or if it was an old, tennis court that they threw the stuff on. So I don't know if it was set up for.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
ramps.
was built from scratch. If I remember right, it was
Yeah.
built from scratch.
So they were thinking when they tarted
Right.
over, they were thinking that was the correct base for it.
Right.
Okay.
for 25,000.
Well, 20 years ago.
Right. Just from if you already have the paved area and you throw a few ramps on it, there's a good chance that
Right.
they're gonna sink into the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they were thinking about, it when they put it together, then at least at that point, they thought that it was going to be adequate. Now, they may have not thought it was going to sit there for 20 years either. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Is
Yeah.
anyone even aware of a local dealer that does these? Because I don't think there is one.
the only one that I could think of would be Eastern Border. I don't know if they do it, but they're at least in the business, they might have a contact.
Yeah, they probably have, they
That-
must have a contact. Yeah,
That's the only one that I can think of.
yeah.
I think we went
Yeah.
down that road once before.
I
with
was thinking
Eastern
we did
Border.
too.
Yeah, and they weren't very helpful. Not not maliciously, not very helpful. They just didn't know who to send us to. But
Yeah.
to your point, Jay, it might be worth checking in with Gardner and see who they used to build that new park down there.
Right. Yeah. Not to say that we would do that, but maybe we would connect you to somebody who would
Right.
talk to us and help us out. We might just be able to say, we might just be able to call somebody that works with pavement in grounds and be able to just lift that stuff and put maybe some footings or something underneath the end so they won't sink again, and
Right.
repair some pavement in those areas too. That might just be all it needs. But I think giving it a little, putting it on the list for 2-3 years out is not a bad idea to have this conversation and get it going.
And also possibly just thinking about the space down there too. I mean, pretty much as soon as you guys put in the basketball court, it kind of became an extension to the skate park when people
Mhm.
weren't there,
Right.
playing basketball. So, we may look at, what space do we have? Can we, move things around, give more space in there, that type of thing too.
I think the other part of it is we've got a brand new basketball court up there. We're going to have a revamped playground. That what's gonna be left is kind of gonna be an eyesore compared to everything else that's up there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking maybe when we're trying to get estimates for, either seal coating the basketball court, because we're probably going to contact a paving company or seal coating company, or
Yeah.
repairing the walking track, that maybe we try to put
Right.
those two together and get prices for both of them at the same time.
Good idea.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what, we will put that on as a capital plan, and we'll see what we can come up with, for estimates and what have you, and see what they can come up with, whether they can just replace, underneath them to support it, or if someone feels the whole thing needs to be redone. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we will end up getting the grant from the state, which will save a lot of money with CPA. And, then we could always go back if we had to. And once the playground was done and stuff, see about getting funding for revamping the skate park.
I just put in skate park builders near me, and Steely Waves skate park came up.
And where are they out of though? They're out of like,
That's us, Hubbardston.
So
That's our park.
Yeah.
No, I know, but is that the name of the company that built it though? Oh, you were
I
just,
don't know. I just put it in and that's what the first thing that came up was our park.
oh, I got you. That's funny. When I was in, on vacation this summer in the town that we were in, they had one of those cement skate parks too. And there were kids riding all through it. It was almost like right in the center of town. It was kind of cool. But, I'd never seen one of those locally. All right. Anything else you feel we need to talk about for the capital plan? No? Let me ask one more thing. Does anyone think that the skate park, as it stands right now, is unsafe?
I don't think so.
I think
wouldn't know
I think-
that.
I think it's all in pretty good shape. I think there was that one issue maybe last year, the year before of one of the welds coming out.
Yeah,
But I haven't walked through there in the last couple months, but during the summer or beginning of the summer, I took a walk through there. It seemed like, I mean, again, I don't skate anymore, so I don't really know what I'm looking for, but
yeah,
nothing looked loose. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
sounded
Yeah.
loose. You know,
I
it's built from metal. It's not, plywood that's gonna rot. So
Yeah, I don't think it's unsafe. I would question, when I go up there and I see kids that are in it, they're on bikes, they're on scooters, they're not on skateboards. So I wonder if skateboards are avoiding it because of the fact that the ramps are sinking into the ground a little bit, so that, maybe the transition from the ramp to the pavement isn't as smooth for a skateboard as it is for something else. So
Okay,
I don't know that. I'm totally throwing a guess out here, but that's just what I have seen from people. So I could ask Andy and some of his friends what they think, but I wouldn't say it's unsafe.
okay. I do know a man locally did break his ankle down there last summer.
Well, I could go there and break my ankle pretty quick too.
Now,
you get on a ramp with a skateboard and bad things are gonna happen.
yeah, but he did mention hitting the lip, like hitting the lip on the
Oh.
bottom. He did mention that that's what threw him. And the fact he was 50 years old and hadn't been on a skateboard.
Yeah.
But he did mention something about the transition, from the ramp to the ground. So, well, maybe we can make a point of checking it out and seeing what we can do. So, but that's a good idea, Jay. We'll add that to the capital plan.
Okay.
All right. Next on the list is the ice rink. So do we have any ideas what we're gonna do?
So I can't find my book that has all our previous stuff in it. So I'm still looking for it. I seem to remember, I did a little research after I got your email, Brian, just to see if I could jog my memory. And I think we were talking about a 25 by 50. And I don't know if this is the company that wouldn't get back to me or if this is the company that we got more information from, but Easy Ice Rinks
Mm-hmm.
was one of the companies that we talked about. I just don't remember if that's the one that was responsive or not. But I'm
does
pretty
sound
sure we were
familiar.
talking about the 25 by 50.
So,
I think that's what we measured out up at the church.
yes, but I think we decided that it was gonna be too much of a slope at the church.
Right,
So
right,
we decided we weren't going to do it there,
right,
right?
right.
So I guess we have to decide. So we have a couple of choices. I will tell you, I actually made a few phone calls and the Easy Rink, they actually carry them at Pure Hockey in Marlboro.
Oh,
And the Nice Rink, they actually carry them in Shrewsbury at Wings and Swings and Things. And when I talked to the guy, I have to say the Easy Rink people, their website says that they have them at Pure Hockey. And the closest one to us is in Marlboro down by the mall. I did not get over there this weekend. But the website says they carry them. I did speak to the guy at Wings and Things in regards to the Nice Rink. And one of the things I liked about what he says, instead of them selling like all the different sizes, like they have all the different sizes, he said Because my biggest thing is, if we order it and have it delivered, then where are we gonna have it delivered?
Right.
And maybe, we've talked about all that, the logistics of it. But I said to this guy, is this something we can do with a pickup truck? Can we go down there? And he said, yeah, we sell all your things individually. So you decide how big you want it. So he says you can order 50, side rails, or you can order 10. You decide on your own how many you want to buy, and you buy each piece individually and put the rink together yourself. And they have the liners and all of that. So that was good to know. And it was good to know that it's accessible quite locally. And I don't know how you guys thought about, why don't we just buy something small and see if it goes? Because I do know Jay mentioned about maintaining it. Who's going to maintain it when it snows and, all this and all that. So my thinking was, we have a little extra money in our budget this year. Do we want to just try something small and see if it flies and see if it gets maintained before spending this large amount of money for a larger one, even though the money's been given to us from CPA? But if we find people aren't even maintaining a smaller one, do we really want to put the time and effort into a large one?
So I guess we have to decide what's considered smaller or larger, because we want it big enough that it's usable. Because if we make it too small, it doesn't get used because it's so small. I think there's kind of a fine line there.
And I mean, I don't ice skate a lot, but I mean, people go out and they shovel the pond off so that they can skate.
Yeah.
So I feel like the people that want to skate, if it's there and it's the right size, it feels like it would probably get used if they would have went to the pond. I don't know. I don't know if there's a draw to the pond versus the one in, I don't know the answer to that part of it, but it does feel like people want to skate, and if there's a little snow on it, they're probably going to shovel it.
Mhm.
But I don't know. And I don't know how good the ice stays all year. So if we get some rain and some snow too, like I don't know that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real ice, ice in the pond can get like crackly and it's no good anymore. I don't know what you do with these ones.
Well, there's this whole video you can watch, and I've watched a number of different videos lately.
I know that we can fix it and we can make it work. Like you
Yeah.
can put more water. I mean, at the lake, people will drill a hole and flood the lake and let it freeze again. Like if you want to skate, those are the things you do.
Yeah.
That's not what I do. If it's not good to skate, I don't get on my skates because it's just a fun day.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So I mean, I think the question is whether or not people will use it. I don't know. If you leave a couple of shovels up there, will people shovel it? I don't know. There's that like thing in the big barn with, it's almost like a sweeper. I don't know if it works anymore. It's got a couple flat tires, big bristles. Looks like it would sweep like the walkway or something. Could be interesting to sweep the thing with that.
Well, I was actually thinking that that the DPW actually, didn't they get a sidewalk snow blower thing, like a wider snow blower? I thought they did, but maybe they didn't.
I don't know.
They did. They either revamped the one they had or they got a new one, but they have something that cleans off sidewalks. Whether they would be willing to go clean off this ice with it, I'm not sure. The other thing is getting it onto the ice, and then the sides, I think you mentioned, where it might be plastic on these ones that you're talking about. It would probably break those. I can't imagine. I think in cold weather, I'm not sure how brittle that would get or how thick that is, if it would, compared to wood or whatever. But all good questions. I think if we go, last year I think we decided we were going to go bigger, and we were going to put it on the basketball court, is what I remember, after kind of saying that Town Common, for probably a variety of reasons, wasn't the greatest. And we can fit it up. We can fit a good size one on the basketball court. We can get there easily. They can plow right up to it. I think there's a lot of families in town that would use it with small kids that don't
Yeah.
want to go on ponds.
Mhm.
The maintenance is the number one issue. Filling it up, we could have the fire department fill it up, you know. How do we maintain it? I don't know. So can DPW or us, can we talk to them? We pay someone to mow cemeteries all summer long. Can we pay a kid to go keep it clean?
We probably could. I mean, I don't know, how we would go about the hiring process unless we could, but see, with COVID, it's made things difficult. We could probably have gotten a kid to do volunteer hours. I don't even think they have to do those in high school right now. Where in the past, they probably would have been able to do that. Or the other thing too is our thoughts were, maybe a senior person. Obviously a lot of them are looking for stuff to do. They don't have, some of them are in good health, I mean, so I don't know. I guess as a committee, we have to decide what we want to do. Do we want to go forward and try to get this implemented this year? Or do we want, because we can still hold off till next year. Do we want to hold off when maybe things are more normal and we might be able to get the kids?
That's a good point too. Are we, if we were to put a skate rink up there, are we
limiting?
not promoting social distancing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it much different than having the basketball court or the skate park? I mean, it's outside. I mean,
it's outside. You have a scarf on.
That is one of the good parts of winter. I mean, most people in the winter do have some kind of a face covering.
Yeah. My whole thing was more like Jay was saying, the maintenance of it. Like, we were hoping to get a senior person, maybe a kid doing volunteer hours. And I just don't think that's going to be available. So how much are we individually willing to go do it? Especially if I have no idea what DPW will do. I know when I did talk to Travis originally, he did say, oh yeah, we'll maintain the parking lot so people can get to it and like that. He didn't commit at all to maintaining the ice rink itself.
I mean, I think it's hard to say because we have no idea what the winter is going to give us. I mean, if it gives us a cold winter with not much snow, it's easy. But if we get that, winter we got 8 years ago or whatever, where it was every weekend we got 15 inches. I mean, all bets are off,
Well, I think the rink will be closed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, but you could get anywhere in between. So,
Right.
If we each said, yeah, I'll do a weekend, I mean, who knows what that could mean, every other storm or, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you just don't know what it means. So I think it's hard to say until we, put it up and see what happens. And maybe it's a team effort with us and the town, people that want to do it. I don't know. I mean,
well, that's what I'm asking. I mean, what are people's thoughts? Are they willing to want to try it? And I mean, part of me is saying it's only $2,500, which in the big scheme of things isn't a ton of money, but it's still $2,500.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't waste any money. I mean, we think we have to have a conversation with people that we think are going to have to help. I think the fire department would put water in it. I don't think that would be a tough conversation.
And I already asked them about that before we put it forward, and they said they would. Yes.
Yeah. So we would have to have a conversation with Travis and see how much they're willing to help. And if you kind of think too, I'm just sitting here thinking through it. If you have a ice rink on the basketball court, you're going to have to access it, right? So they just plow it out, but then you're going to have to get onto the court. Are we going to clear the court every time around the rink, or are we going to let that snow just kind of pack down? That could be.
Well, the other piece to it is if you're shoveling it, you got to shovel it somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're snow blowing or shoveling, you can throw it somewhere. So do you have to get that off the court? So if Travis is going up there with the sidewalk cleaner, for instance, and he clears off the court every snowstorm, what's that going to do to our court? I know we're going to get it sealed, hoping to get it sealed next year, but then years to come where you're up there cleaning it off every year, you're just scraping that off. I know what my driveway looks like. It needs to be resealed. so so $8,000 job to reseal a court. Are we going to have to do that every couple of years because have the ice rink on it? It's just, I guess the whole plan. I don't mean to get too far ahead of ourselves. We don't even know if someone's going to use it. So, but I'm just
What-
thinking about all the
What if we,
costs.
because the other thing too is the two different rinks, the nice rink you could not put on a basketball court. Okay, because you actually stake the things into the ground, okay?
Right.
And because we have a fence, we would have to do the easy rink if we were gonna do that. Unless you think it's worth trying to put it on the U10 field, which has no irrigation, it's up above the basketball court.
That's what I was thinking, that would be a good spot for it. If we didn't use the court, that field seems to be the most logical place for it.
And it seems pretty level.
It seems it.
Yeah.
It's certainly more, looks like it's more level than the town common.
Down common.
It is, yeah. It is.
It doesn't have to be perfectly level for this to work.
Correct.
The water levels itself, so all those videos that we watched.
We thought the town common lot was pretty level until we measured it.
That was like a
12 inches off or
16-inch pit.
Yeah, that was pretty big. But I think the U10 field is much more level. I mean, we've been up there. We've all been up there a lot. It's pretty level.
So if we were going to do that, we would need them to plow or clear up to there, right?
Yeah, so they could come through the front
The
gate and plow that, and then, as long as we could get them to plow that area. And I hate to say it, but then if if someone's gonna snow blow or shovel, there's more space to throw the
Right.
snow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a better situation. I like that idea too. So, yeah. Well, I think we have to have a conversation with Travis.
Okay. About plowing up to there or actually doing the cleaning the rink?
There, can they get between the gates with a plow? I think they can. But can you, are they willing to help maintain it? If not, if we hire somebody, can it be a DPW employee? Because we can't hire people, right?
I don't know, I will ask Ryan if we could hire someone, and if not, I know that the DPW has the right to hire a seasonal employee, for like 10 hours a week or something like that. I mean, it would have to come out of our budget, but I guess we would have to hire them as like per diem, as an on needed basis, and pay them minimum wage, probably $15 an hour. But I bet you get some high school kids who'd do that. So
I have a son I'd push towards doing it.
So do you think this is something we should consider going forward with, getting the answers to, and then deciding on going and buying it if we get the answers that we want?
Yeah, I think so. I had a few teenagers asking me about it last winter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that they'll be asking again this winter.
About whether we're gonna put one up there?
Yes,
Okay,
anywhere, if we're gonna put one anywhere.
yeah. I know Ryan, the town administrator, he's excited about it because he loves to skate, and he said he'd go up there and skate on his lunch hour.
Yeah.
He said, maybe he'll shovel it off while he's up there too.
Right, yeah, oh, there we go,
Right.
problem solved.
There we go.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Maybe you said it, Sandy, but how much lead time do we need to order it?
That when I spoke to the guy for the nice rink, he said, just call him, let him know you're coming. And he says you order depending on what size you want. So, that you gotta, I don't know what size, I'll be honest. So I was in Shrewsbury over the weekend and I went to look for the place. And so I called, but they were already closed. So I didn't get to actually go there. But I'm hoping to maybe go there again. But I talked to him and he said, no, you order as many panels as you want, depending on what size you want, and you kind of plan it yourself. And I did say, so if I showed up with a pickup truck, I could pick up everything I needed. Or he goes, yeah, he goes, that's how people do them. I think they do have a small one that comes in the box, but that does not come with the sides. It's just the, the brackets and the liner, and you have to buy your own, boards separately to go with that one, but it sounds like you can just figure out, depending on how big the boards are, how big of a rink you want. So.
Yeah.
But I can, if you want, unless someone else wants to call and ask, get some more information about it. That's fine, but I basically just said local dealers who sell the nice rink, you know, and Wings and Things in Shrewsbury came up. So,
Yeah, I think we should try to get some, maybe as a group, try and get some FaceTime with Travis and talk to him about it
okay.
first. That's my
Mhm.
perspective. I think we should talk to Travis, have an agreement with him, and then see how we can move forward. Because if we don't need like 3 weeks, 4 weeks lead time, and we can just go down and get it, we
Mhm.
can have a conversation. If Travis isn't available for a couple weeks to have a conversation, that's fine. We can talk to him. Then we can decide from there which way to go. Personally, I would go big, and because that's going to attract people to use it. So, but
Why do you feel we all have to be involved in it? Can't you just send him an email? And just see all of us and the town administrator. Then everyone will be on the same page.
Yeah, we can. I just think if we have a conversation, I mean, I'll go down and talk to him. I don't care. I'll be happy to go down and have a conversation with him.
Okay.
I just think it needs to be a conversation so he understands where we're coming from. We're not forcing anything on him. That we want to work together with him to do something good for the community. Not like, hey, we're going to do this and you're screwed doing it.
Yeah.
Right, pal? You know, because then he's going to be in a corner. He's not going to want to do it. He may not want to participate, but you know, all of us approaching him with a good idea is you know, probably the right thing to do. Or one or two of us even, that's fine. But we got to sell him on it.
And you're a salesman, so I nominate you.
I'll go do it. I don't have a problem going
All
to
right.
talk to him. But if I'm saying as a group, if we want to do it, that's fine too. So whatever you guys want.
Yep, no, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I personally think one-on-one is fine. If you just want to say, you know, we had a meeting, this is what we discussed. How do you feel about that? You know,
Okay.
How much could you maintain? Especially if we put it up at the U10 field, would you be able to plow up that walking path area?
Yep.
You know, that main gate. And speaking of that gate, it sounds like they're fixing it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's I was waiting for new business.
Oh, go ahead. Well, we're gonna talk about how usable it will be. So
yeah, no. So the gate, one of the posts, there's two brick posts that hold the gates. One of them was leaning. A few years ago, Tom Larson went up with one of the other members of the Lions Club, and they straightened it out, and it started leaning again. And so I think there's like a foundational issue underneath it that needs to be addressed. So they kind of almost have to move it, fix underneath it, and then put it back in place or something like that. I don't fully understand it, but I know there needs a higher level of work needs to be done. So they met with Travis up there, and Travis said he could do it, he could help, but he wanted our permission. I think Sandy emailed him and told him that we were okay with it. So yeah, they're going to be Sam Isgro and Travis are going to be working together to get that fixed. So
yeah, so that'll be great because then those gates will swing open really easily.
Yeah, if the gates swing open easy and they can stay open, that's the you know, split, you know, if they can be those are big heavy gates. Those are heavy gates.
Yeah. So what did we just make a final decision? So Jay, you're gonna go talk to Travis? Is that what we decided?
Well, I don't know if we decided, but that's what I guess what I was proposing is let's talk to Travis. If we got buy-in from the DPW, then we move forward. If we don't have buy-in from them and we have to find another way to do it, then we're going to have to reconvene and either push it off or come up with another plan.
Okay. And I will reach out to Ryan as well in regard to maybe being able to hire someone or how we would do that, or if we had to go through the DPW and they technically hire him, but it comes out of our budget to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we can find that out too.
Yeah.
So, all right, that sounds good. Sounds good. And speaking of that, we yeah, we'll move forward to the town common tree. Basically, we probably want to go down and check the lights before it gets too cold out. So I don't know, is anyone around the next couple of weeks or?
I'm around all the time.
No.
I don't go far.
So,
It depends on when it is.
well, you kind of have to do it when it's dark out. So you either
Right.
have to decide, let's
Kind of
meet,
at dusk.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's meet at 7 o'clock in the morning and then have coffee afterwards. Or you can say, well, what, in another week and a half, it's gonna be dark at 4 o'clock, so we could
Right.
delay, so.
I am offering to buy breakfast if we go. if we
Yeah,
do it in the
sure,
morning.
absolutely.
All right. I'll do
Absolutely.
7 a.m.
7 a.m. on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get the backhoe breakfast or whatever at the hub down
Bring a camp chair. We'll sit in the parking lot.
There you
Right.
go.
there.
Do, does anyone want to like do this week, or you want to give it a couple weeks or see what the weather's like? What?
Well,
You'll
what, in another week, we're gonna move the clocks back, right? So
True.
31st, yeah.
So we fall back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel right about inspecting a Christmas tree before Halloween. I think we should at least wait till after Halloween.
That's fine. That's fine. So let's pick the week after Halloween to do it. How's that?
Good.
Sure.
All right. We want to pick the day before or the day after we have to vote?
Yeah.
No, the 3rd? The 2nd, we want to do the 2nd. Do you want to do a weekend or during the week?
Probably during the week.
Okay. So Tuesday is 3rd. You want to do Monday, the 2nd?
Are we doing morning or are we doing afternoon or evening?
I thought you wanted to go to breakfast.
I'm just making sure.
But you know what? That's going to be after. So we changed the clocks back on November 1st.
Right.
Okay. So that means we're going to have to be there an hour earlier,
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Right?
Wow, but it's really not gonna be much different. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be
Yeah.
6 o'clock, not 7 o'clock.
Right. We could go up at 6 o'clock and still see what we need to see.
Yeah.
Or even 6:30.
Oh, in the morning. Oh, yeah, that's rough.
In the morning. Yeah.
In this COVID environment, 6 a.m. is rough.
Right.
In my life before that, 6 a.m. was
That would have been no problem.
yeah, I was an hour into work already, right? Yeah.
Well, we could technically go up at like 4:30 and then go have pizza. We could do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably beer involved then too. So ooh, I said that on a recorded message. Yeah, whatever works, Sandy. I'll
Yes. Yeah.
I'll do either one.
So you want morning or you want afternoon?
Let's do afternoon. It's probably easier because it's going to be 5 o'clock. It's dark, so we can
All right, so 4:30 on November 1st, sound good to everyone? Anyone who wants to show up, 4:30 November 1st.
That's
Okay.
the Monday.
That's Sunday, isn't it?
I think that's, no, yeah,
Oh.
November 2nd, I mean, yeah.
November
The 1st is the day we changed the clocks.
Okay.
And what time you want to do it? 4:30?
I think 4:30 will be dark enough, don't you? By then,
I don't know.
Yeah.
or 5 o'clock, either way.
Let's do 4:45.
4:45.
4:45. It's in the minutes.
We got it. November 2nd, 4:45. All right. All right, let's see. Town-
Whew, that was rough.
yeah.
That was a tough negotiation.
Anything else we need to talk about? That's it?
I don't have anything.
All right. So to recap, I'll reach out to Ryan about hiring someone. Jay will reach out to Travis about what they can help us out with maintaining that. And then we will decide on when we want to buy. and purchase depending on what we get for answers. The DPW, sorry, the Board of Selectmen want to meet with us on November 16th. They want to have a joint meeting. They're trying to do a joint meeting with everyone, every committee. So that would be our next date for an official meeting. If we decide we have to meet before that to decide on the ice rink and to share this information, we'll just make a date before November 16th, because we don't want to be, figuring this out come December 1st.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
Does that sound good? Should we
Yep.
try to just make a tentative date now that we can post for another Zoom meeting just to discuss what we found out?
Pre the Board of Selectmen meeting or post?
Yes.
Pre?
Great. Unless we want to make November 2nd at 4:45 our next meeting.
Oh, we could do that. Yep.
But you know what? Technically, we can't meet and we can't have a public meeting. We have
Oh,
to
right.
do a Zoom meeting and post it.
Yeah, we could do a Zoom meeting later that evening. It's fine.
That's fine. So we'll post for like 7 o'clock that evening.
Sure.
Sound good?
Yes.
To discuss the rink and more thoroughly. All right. I think we can get that posted. All right, everyone understand what we're doing going forward?
Yep.
Yep.
I'll go talk to Travis in the next day or two.
Okay, that sounds good. And was someone going to call? Oh, yeah, and then afterwards we'll decide what, where we're going to purchase the items and stuff. So,
And then Stan, if you can send me that account information, I'll add it to the minutes and I'll get minutes out tomorrow.
okay, that sounds good. I'll do that. You wanted the budget information, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, actually, all you probably really have to put down is the recreational budget. That's our expense account that they give us every year. And
Okay.
we have 1885 in there. I mean, the other accounts, we oversee them, but we haven't done anything with them. No one's asked us for money from them. This account right here, our recreational budget, is the budget that we work with all the time.
Additional budget. And the balance is 1885.
Yep.
Okay.
Does someone want a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aye.